Biggest whack job theme of the year was the notion that Barack Obama was not the legitimate president of the United States, not because he didn't get the most votes or something on Election Day, but because he really wasn't born here. It was the bizarre theory pushed by the crowd that came to be known as the birthers. I call it bizarre because after one of the toughest, tightest Democratic primaries in history, does anybody really think Hillary Clinton would have missed the fact that Barack Obama had been born somewhere other than the U.S.? Same thing with the general election. Both Clinton and McCain investigated the idea and found there to be absolutely no there. But a woman named Orly Taitz wants us to believe she's smarter than the rest of us and them. Orly sees things only Orly sees. On Countdown, we saw one of the biggest whack jobs of any year. As 44 turns 48, a birthday present from the birthers, that forged Kenyan birth certificate produced over the weekend was created from a real birth certificate, but not one from Africa. It comes from a land down under. Our number one story, this just in, the President of the United States is actually a 50-year-old Australian man named David Jeffrey Bomford. Or it's the other way around. As we reported, a few details of Russian emigre dentist turned correspondence school lawyer Orly Taitz forged Kenyan masterpiece. They're off a little bit. The Washington Independent now examining the similarities between the fake document and an actual Australian birth certificate from 1959. It appears that somebody did a little copy and paste work with the birth certificate of David Jeffrey Bomford of Adelaide. Not only identical in design and layout, but similar in key details. The registrar on the Australian document is G.F. Lavender. On the forged document, it's E.F. Lavender, a type of detergent and a type of specially bred gecko. Seriously. The district registrar on the Australian document is J.H. Miller. On the one brought to us by Miss Taint, M.H. Miller. So either a bunch of mid-century birth officials from two different parts of the world all shared similar names, or the forger's attention to detail stopped at the artificial aging of the paper part. So the actual man whose birth certificate is helping fuel the birthers?
That is ridiculous. Little old person in Adelaide, the President of the United States. I don't know whether to laugh about it or not. Be worried about it.
Oh, be worried about it. Earlier this afternoon, the jolly swagman president dined with the Senate Dems, blue dogs and all, and then stopped by the White House press briefing room, surprising fellow birthday girl and veteran White House reporter Helen Thomas with cupcakes. Meanwhile, Secretary Clinton, on an ironically timed, albeit pre-planned trip to Kenya today, Orly Taint seems to think she was there to inspect birth certificates, denying that her forged Obama document is a fake. Miss Taint claiming on her blog, if Kenyan BC birth certificate that I provided would not be genuine, Hillary would not be rushing to Kenya, would she? And by that logic, if it wasn't a fraud, wouldn't the world have come to an end this morning to prevent everybody in two hemispheres from laughing hysterically at your incompetence, Miss Taint? Joining me now, comedian Paul F. Tompkins. Paul, good evening.
Good evening, Keith. If I'm not much mistaken, I believe Orly's last name is Taitz.
What have I been saying?
I'd rather not say what you've been saying.
Taint. Well, what's the difference? No.
Fair enough.
The president is now Australian, or this man, Bomford, is actually our president. What does this mean in terms of the vice presidency? Is Biden out and Hugh Jackman is in?
Yeah, he's taking the Amtrak from Perth. What I don't understand about this is, the thing that infuriates me the most is, why didn't these goofballs use a Kenyan birth certificate as the template? This is what drives me nuts more than anything. Why Australia? Do they think Australia is a country in Africa? I don't understand why this was. Some cursory internet research really would have helped them out. Well, maybe they actually could have looked up Obama's birth certificate in the first place, and that would have stopped the whole thing there.
No, probably not.